Hello there, this is Pastor June, and this is God Helping Families. And I'm going to talk about the fact that love comes in seasons, especially in the institution of marriage. In general, love has certain patterns that are similar in every marriage. There are the first days when we're all excited and in love, especially if you are married from that point of view where you dated, you met, you fell in love and things like that. Because I realize there are some marriages where people arrange marriages, family arrange marriages for them and things like that. And the love actually grows. This stage depends on feelings. You begin to know each other, and some of the things you discover, not some of the things, most of the things you discover. And I find that it doesn't matter how long that you actually dated and courted, when you actually get to living together, there are so many things that you discover, and some of the things you discover about each other are shocking, even sobering, and you're like, but how come I didn't see all this? Because everyone, when at the beginning you were at your best behavior, but even if you were not at your best behavior, you didn't have time to know each other. Habits, mindsets, weaknesses, even strengths and positive attributes come out at the second stage, but it is the negative things that make people falter. They begin to think, how did I get into this relationship? It is important to remember at the point of marriage, that marriage is actually a ministry. You are seeing the negative part of someone, and depending on what kind of temperament you have, you're going to accept it or you're going to deny it. It's going to, for some people, they even change their minds and say, no. These things that I'm seeing are, no, it's too much. But you need to remember that that is actually normal, because each one of you is different. You're different individuals. Even if you were twins, you'd still be different. Each one of you come from different families, background, and things like that. So it doesn't matter. Even if you switch a spouse, you will still go through the same. You still need to know the person. So you need to understand this and to know that this is something that is normal, and even the bad parts, okay? And then you should remember that you were put in that person's life to help them, to support them, whether you are a man or a woman, all right? And you need to pray about it and say, Lord, how do I support this person? I'm discovering this and that. What is it that I can do in this situation? All right, you have to be deliberate about love and romance as life goes ahead, as you discover each other, because life actually takes over. Those are seasons of life. Things that were you do, easily, like holding each other at some point of life, because of life is happening and you're discovering each other, you really have to make a decision. And of course, communication helps to talk about what is going on and educating each other and educating about what you want, and education for both of you about the institution of marriage. As you go through all these stages, a different type of love grows, all right? You have now a love that is intentional, not just because you are feeling butterflies, because there are times when you are not going to feel those butterflies in your stomach, but you're going to make the decisions that, you know what, I'm going to love this person regardless of who I'm discovering that he or she really is. So you fight together, you win together. Sometimes you're even going to have to learn how to fight, because it is something in marriage. There are rules of engagement that because it is even God realizes you're different. The rules of engagement that you need to put in place in order to fight fair. In other seasons, you become ingrained in each other and you rejoice in the fruit of your labor. In other seasons, you're fighting and trying this, making mistakes right, and things like that. In other seasons, you're doing investments. In other seasons, you have young children, then you have grown children, grandchildren. Maybe you lose children, you gain children. In some seasons, we are changing. What worked for both parties at the beginning does not work anymore because of experiences. Ambitions have changed. You need to understand that is also part of life. We need to adjust towards each other. It is important to understand that the flow with the flow with your spouse is going to change. All right, the flow is going to change as you are going from one season to another. All right, in some seasons you find that the wealth increases. Many couples, for example, start with a household income that is very low, but then God begins to place you. Maybe you begin to rise, and then you lose. Maybe because of decisions, personalities, so whatever, things are not going as well as you thought they would, and all those things are part of life. All right. Sometimes you find that one spouse is still set in old ways, and one wants to progress. All that takes time, learning each other, learning to communicate. Some seasons involve crisis like death, major blunders like affairs, loss of jobs, money, maybe loss of people and things like that. Things always change, all right? Crisis changes people, okay? You need also to be sensitive and to understand that the person you're living with was also affected like you are. Sometimes it is biological and physical changes like hormones, libido, aging. Let us embrace change and understand ourselves and our spouses, both men and women. Read up on how men change psychologically and physically, and ideally the man should also learn his wife and read up about what is going on. Women worry a lot about physical changes, but there is beauty for every change, for every change and every age. The beauty of a 20-year-old is not the beauty of a 30-year-old or 40 or 50. You are beautiful differently at every stage of life. Even men worry about the things that are happening in their body, the fact that they don't have strength anymore and things like that, low testosterone and things like that. But that is life. As life progresses, you get to know a spouse, and many things that bother you at one stage do not bother you at another. If you were worried about some habits at 5 years, you find that at 10 years it doesn't even bother you because you've accepted it or you have learned how it is. Some habits change for the positive. For example, if someone is into substance abuse, alcohol and things like that, you find that they stop drinking. Some get worse and things like that. Some like that need intervention and good counseling. There are also short-term changes. You find in 1 year you cannot keep off your hands off each other, and a few weeks later you have friction. Then you're making up again. Things shift because you're both human beings. The point is about all this is that there are changes in life. Develop patience. Stand up in seasons of storms. Don't just be quick to jump the ship, because things always change, and God, the Holy Spirit, is there to help you.